All right, welcome into the Coach Mark Schmidt Show, presented as always by Aria Health, your hospital in Lower Bucks County. Week 2 of the Coach Mark Schmidt Show. We are deep in the war room, I'll call it today. We're bunkered in. Heartbreak Ridge is a stone throw away, and it was a great night on Friday. We're going to talk about Northeast to begin, and then preview the Downingtown West game this Friday as well at Harry E. Franks Memorial Stadium. Coach, 33-0 win over Northeast. Back-to-back years, you guys shut them out. You know, no matter the skill level and things like that, it's a new opponent, new offense, new coach. How do you think you guys did week 1?
You know, just happy to come out with a win. Happy to come out. Hopefully, everybody getting that first game out underneath them. A lot of people say we have a lot of experience, which we do, but going into this game, we had 5 kids play returning starters that played new positions.
Right.
So it's a lot to that, and. Northeast showed in their 2 scrimmages that they can do things if they decide to, and they had a couple backs that could break, a couple wideouts that could break it. And defensively, they were pretty aggressive, and I was very happy that our defense flew around and did a nice job. And I think we're kind of sloppy on offense in a few aspects, but it was good to see us come off the ball, and most of the stuff that we saw Friday night, I think we can fix. Now, whether or not we do it or not depends on them and us. But I was happy to see a lot of the things can be adjusted, and some of the most of the sloppiness can be corrected.
Let's start defensively. You guys get to shut out on the end of the defensive line. You got 2 great guys, one going to UConn next year, Luke Carazola, with Dorian Arthur as well. Another long, rangy kid who can get to the football, and had a nice little week 1.
Dorian made some nice plays. Dorian's biggest problem was Dorian. He beginning of the game, he came out and played very well. Then all of a sudden, I think he put so much energy into before the game, and he gets himself so worked up. I think he kind of hit a wall there for a while. Really became a non-factor, and addressed that about just settling down and playing every play. And we need him to be there the whole game this week. But he certainly is an athletic son of a gun, and Luke was very stellar against the tight end, and really held up his end of it, and got off to a great start also, as did the inside guys. I thought all kind of, I think we played 8 different D linemen, which is our plan, and for the most part, I thought as a group they did what we've been working on.
You mentioned depth on the defensive line. How much easier does it make your job when you can rotate in Alex Nicholas, Mike Palmer, Shane Corbett, Brandon Byrne, who came in, Dan Johnson? I mean, there was a lot of guys inside making a lot of plays. I mean, that can only bode well for you late in the season.
We have Corbett's, he kind of hurt his knee a couple weeks back. He'll hopefully be back.
I'm sorry, that's right.
That's all right, but you're right. I mean, those other guys are other guys that are doing it. Blake Sullivan's another kid, and hopefully we can get Harmon squared away, our sophomore puppy, who is a young man at defensive end. We can get him cranked up in a couple of weeks, but he's still finding his way. So you got to have that kind of depth. And I mean, when this kind of game allowed us the opportunity to do that, it was a hot, humid night. We talked about preparing for that type of weather, and we held up with that pretty well. So I'm happy that the guys understand what we're trying to do, and they're going out and doing it.
Linebacking core. You guys have 3 new people there. Danny Lord in the middle, a new position for him. But a guy, you dropped Cole and Trokin down, but a guy that didn't really play sparingly last year, Matt Bianchino, came up and looked pretty good in the middle for you guys.
Matt's a good player. I mean, Matt's he's a hard worker. He's an athletic guy. He's got good size, over 200 pounds, a tall kid. And Neil's got him going in a real good position there. Those 4 guys all played their first game at their positions this year. I mean, Matt was an outside backer, so was Denny, and Trokin and Cole were perimeter guys. We moved them in, so I mean, those 4 guys alone right there played new positions. So and Dorian was new at his spot, and Matt Magg was new at his spot, and Denzel Hughes. So it was a very good thing to see these guys, and the guys that came in and subbed for those guys did a real good job. Devin Brown's getting off to a good start. We're really hoping he just keeps on track here, keeps on going, because we're looking for him to really have a good year.
Offensively, you guys put up 33 points, and a big name week 1 was DeAndre Pollard, the guy I want to talk about, who I think had a great game in the backfield, and you mentioned him sparingly with the defense. when you can run a fullback dive and get 6, 7, 8, 9 yards of play with Blake Sullivan, great game by him.
Right. You know, Blake and I had a discussion this week, and his first 2 scrimmages were not the kind of, not the way Blake ended last year. I mean, last year I thought Blake really ended the year on a great note. He was a real physical presence, and spent the off season really dedicating himself to getting stronger. He put on some good weight. He really got stronger, and you know, I think he had to kind of adjust to the added weight a little bit. And some of these hot days, I think, helped him. Kind of, you know, he pushed himself hard, and he came out with that snap this week and got after it a little bit, like we expect Blake to do, and people kind of knew who he was. And he has a good handle on that inside leg stuff, and he's a load. I kind of got on him about not, you know, finishing some of those blocks. I mean, he doesn't. I don't know if he realizes he's 245 pounds, but you know, strong-legged. He's still kind of dragging as opposed to driving.
Right.
And he saw that film on Saturday morning and totally understood what I was talking about. So, you know, they're the kind of guys we have that accept, you know, the coaching and, you know, understand what we're trying to say and realize that there's more to give.
Front 5 up front, a couple guys coming back. Your center, a couple of offensive tackles. Some young guys mixed in there as well this week. How do you think they did up front?
I thought as a group they did a nice job. You know, again, I think the biggest problem that we have sometimes, you know, a little bit of experience. Hunter Kelly and Mike Palmer were 2 outside guys, and both those guys have really put in a lot of time, and they both need to settle down and play. They're both very strong weight kids. They're both very good athletes, and they kind of took themselves out of their game a little bit by trying to do too much, as opposed to just kind of, you know, doing their thing, and you know, which is a good problem to have when you open up a win.
Sure. All right, well, we're going to recap a little more about Northeast and then talk about Downingtown West coming up next. 1-0 opponent, some people have them top 15 in the county, so there's no rest for the weary here in the Chamonix. So we'll step aside, take a short break, and come back with more of the Coach Mark Schmidt Show, presented as always by Aria Health, your hospital in Lower Bucks County. We'll be right back.
The ARIA 3B Orthopedic Institute is redefining care in Center City and South Jersey. And our 50,000 square foot location on ARIA Health's Bucks campus in Langhorne features private rooms, free parking, and nearby hotels. With over a century of experience, the world-class 3Bs, Doctors Booth, Bartolozzi, Balderston, and their partners personally guide you from treatment through recovery. For all your orthopedic needs, call 1-888-ORTHO-3B or visit aria3bortho.org. At the ARIA 3B Orthopedic Institute, you come first.
All right, welcome back into the Coach Mark Schmidt Show, presented as always by Aria Health. Week 2, we are here, 33-0 win over Northeast, and we were talking about the offensive line. And one last name before we get going to Downingtown West, who appeared, who we talked in the backfield. DeAndre Power comes out, gets his first start as a varsity running back. We saw him last year, but he came in, and you mentioned he needed to gain some strength in the weight room, and some of the runs week 1 showed he may have added a little strength.
Yeah, I mean, we were happy with some of them and unhappy with others.
Right.
So, and we sat and looked at the film, and we really kind of looked about blocking schemes. I thought DeAndre could have had a much more productive night. It was kind of not patient on some plays, and you know, got a little bit his footwork got himself in some trouble on some plays, and really kind of took him out of the mesh. And but it was good to see him get some confidence. And he had a real good run down there on the goal line and took that kid on and came unblocked and kept his balance and stayed paths low. Those are the things we've been talking about with him, and you know, certainly a big improvement this summer with him getting stronger and faster. And so you know, he's not a surprise. He's a pleasant addition to what we're doing.
33-0 win. That has to go in the rear view, because before you know it, you guys face a Downingtown West team now this Friday that is much more physical than your week 1 opponent. Some have them ranked in the top 15 in Southeast Pennsylvania.
And they should.
You know, when you think of Downingtown, you think of Downingtown East, but this year, Downingtown West, the last couple of years at least, Downingtown East, this West team is a pretty good football team.
Well, Mike Milano is the coach at West, and you know, quietly they've kind of been the stepsister over there. But you know, we did a little history. We clued our team in a little bit on this too, because every year we scrimmage East, so we know East. We don't know West. Our guys got a good dose of West on film yesterday morning there after practice, and very, very, very respectful of their game. They're 50-50 with East in the games. I think they have 3 less losses than East has had in the last 10 years. They're always a playoff team. Never in our bracket, really. So we really don't get, when we've been in the playoffs together, we've always been opposite brackets, and we never got to face each other. So they've had a very, very solid 10-year program and such since the split, and they're a good football team. He's got both his quarterbacks back. He's got a lot of his line back. He's got some guys. And when you have those kind of guys and you run a hurry up and you're running the spread and stuff, it allows you to build, and we have to be ready for that. And we started yesterday and our guys, they understand that they've got a real challenge ahead of them this week, and facing East in the scrimmage 2 weeks ago, they were hurry up on us, and we're getting in with that, and we had some problems and we had some positives. So they realized what's there to be expected, and the whole thing is just get lined up and play. Don't get your mind other places, and just keep your body under control and go play the game.
Usually we talk about the spread or the 2 quarterback controversy or use. We're just talking about you guys using 2 quarterbacks. But this week, you're facing an opponent that's going to throw in 2 guys. Both can throw the football, can run.
Yeah.
Is it different for you to be preparing for 2 guys?
They're very similar. I don't know. I think the one kid, the senior, he's very. He's been with him, I think, almost a year and a half longer, and but in his scrimmages and in the last game, he was having trouble getting with the ball, turning the ball over a little bit. And the other guy is very talented also, and he did it. And he made some nice throws. They both can throw it well. They both run it well. They both run the offense well. They both seem to complement each other. It's not night and day. They're very similar, so you really don't have to prepare for 19 or for 12. You have to prepare for the offense. Right. So that's the good news. The bad news is that they can just keep coming at you with some guys and keep you rolling. They can stay fresh, and we've just got to stay on the job.
You faced Northeast week 1, they're on the spread. Your second scrimmage you mentioned downtown East, they're a hurry-up kind of spread it out type of team. Yeah. You're seeing more and more teams that are trying to run this air raid, hurry-up, spread, whatever you want to call it. Have you guys defensively prepared differently than years past when you're facing these type of spread offenses?
Well, I think you've answered the question already. Yeah. We have. I drove home from Coatesville and made the decision that Denny was going inside, right, and Trokin was going outside, and Cole was coming down, and we were going to get faster up there in that second level. Okay. And I thought we were going to be pretty good up front on defense with who we had coming back. Doreen was kind of a wild card because he was coming off an injury, and he's certainly taken a step in the right direction. So I knew we had that kind of length and athletic ability, so we could combine that with those guys, and then with Mags and Devin on the perimeter as a corner, 2 guys that are certainly capable speed-wise. That's our plan, right? And that was what we wanted to do. We wanted to get faster, and that seems to be the topic of most people's conversation. Northeast looked like they had the corner on us once or twice, and because they were hitting a couple of those jet sweeps and stuff, and it got shut down pretty quickly. Right. And I think that had a lot to do with the adjustments we made and the guys that are playing those positions. I mean, we're legitimately a step and a half faster, maybe 2 steps in certain positions, and even inside out. I mean, Denny and Matt can both run, so getting in there from the inside and in the perimeter and then coming. There were 2 or 3 plays that looked really good on film because Luke was holding up, and then Trokin was holding up, and then Matt came up and cleaned it, and we ran it the other way, And it was Dorian that held up, and it was Cole, and then it was Devin that cleaned it.
Right.
And you know, once or twice they turn it back in, and there's Matt and Denny. So, you know, we're happy to see those kind of things, Matt. And I think that's the thing that, you know, we got to build on.
15, 20 years ago, you were a big fan of run and shoot. You had that in the college ranks.
I wasn't a fan. I was.
Well, maybe
that was my job. I was hired.
Whatever it may be.
I was hired.
Do you consider your offense in this day and age a dinosaur in a sense, as to what other teams possibly do? Not if it's not effective or not, just if it's something that's teams have gone away from, that you have just stick to, this is what we do, and this is how we're going to win football games.
Well, I would have said yes if we called it a dinosaur, but North Penn 2 years ago went to the state finals, and they huddle up and they run it, and
so it's not dead yet.
And North Alleghany's won it 3 years in a row, and they huddle up and they run it. And yesterday in the afternoon, I was channel surfing and I saw DeMatha play the state champ from Florida, and they huddle up and run the eye and they run it, and they beat, you know. So it's what we do. I mean, it's what we can do. Do you want to get a little diverse? If you want to get diverse, you got to spend time doing that stuff.
Sure.
It's not, the wing T concept is really something that I think is very, it's a good offense. It's a hard offense to defend, but it's just something that we don't choose to run. So we're a little bit bigger that way, and but that's not the reason. But you know, we like to kind of come straight ahead. So.
You make that very known, well be known. I mean, running the football is key to your offense.
Well, look, you know, I mean, play action pass, that kind of stuff. That's just what we want to do. And you know, we got to get improved quarterback play. You know, I thought Tyler and Mason for their first games went out and you know and did a credible job. But it's got to get better. I mean, we've got to be able to. And we had 2 big drops. I mean, and we had a penalty that took back another good catch and a first down. So I mean, you know, there's production, but it's just it's too roller coaster.
Right.
We're not playing solid offense, and we have to, and that really disappoints me. And whether it's a blocking assignment or an alignment or a drop or you know, or just hitting the wrong gap, you know, we've got to get better. And because Downingtown West plays solid on defense. They're very dangerous on offense, and you know, we've got to do a good job of you know, taking care of any opportunities we're given, and we've got to take care of, you know, that field. We've got to make sure that field, you know, gets pushed on our end.
And we'll see if that
and
does.
The special teams match.
Sure, yeah.
They blocked the punt last week. They blocked the punt. They are active. They do a lot of things. They're backup punters, the personal protector. The punter's the punter. The quarterback is the punter. So they got 2 guys, 19 and 12, are in the punt game. So you know he's got fakes going, and you know, he kind of feels like he's coming here playing a new team with house money.
There you go.
You know, so we need to make sure we're mentally tougher and sharper.
And we'll see that is the case here on Friday night at Harry Franks Memorial Stadium, 7 o'clock, 6:45 will be our pregame coverage on WBCB 1490. Now, last week we had some pick'ems. Coach Mark Schmidt went 1-1. Penn State wins. Boise State decent at the half and gets blown out in the second half. So you go 1-1.
Dude, I don't.
Regardless,
Boise State
well,
and
listen,
Washington.
some people
2
like
teams. I would
Boise
not.
is a microwave dynasty. Some people like them. You said you like Chris Peterson.
I like them a lot, but I didn't know how good they're going to be.
Well, you don't scout teams like Penn State like others. That's, you know, it's a home field advantage there.
What?
Penn State. In your home, not where they played the game.
Oh, yeah.
Did you watch it, the game, Penn State?
Very little.
Yeah? Did the wife?
I think she did.
Did she?
Second half, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she did.
All right, this week we'll go NFL. First
NFL?
game, yeah. First game
that's
we'll do.
worse.
First game we'll do this Thursday. Denver, Baltimore.
Oh, jeez.
Big game to kick off the NFL season. Who do you like? Game is in Denver, I believe.
Yeah. Well, Vaughn Miller guy's out, right?
Yes.
Okay. But it's a home game, so that
For
kind
Denver,
of offsets
correct.
it. And altitude. I'll give Manning the nod. He's not going to let Flacco take all the glory.
So Peyton
I'll
on
take-
Thursday.
I'll
Do you know
take
Joe at all?
that.
You
I'll
met
take that.
Joe Flacco at all?
I met him once.
Big guy.
Huge.
Yeah.
In Stone Harbor.
Okay.
I saw him in Stone Harbor. That's where his family's down there,
Okay.
and he goes there every year.
Uh-huh.
But I was at Delaware for Flacco's pro day,
Oh, okay, you were.
and I
Cool.
stood there behind it, and it was absolutely amazing.
Cool.
So yeah, that I did see. He's an impressive guy, and I'm happy that local guy gets to do
There you
it.
go.
Good for him.
Speaking of impressive guys, Monday night Eagles, Redskins, archery
Oh,
3.
boy.
Appears he will play, back from the torn ACL. Who do you like down in Washington? And Merrill maybe was taking the most.
Unfortunately, I don't know. I think Merrill and I were in the same golf cart. We might agree. I just think that Washington might just score more than Eagles.
Okay.
I don't. At that defense, they running back apparently. My son and my daughter both were had their fantasy draft yesterday.
Oh,
So
okay.
I learned more about pro players yesterday than I had in all year, and apparently that running back had a great year last year, and he's back, and they've added some wideouts. So
Do you know what's going on? Don't try to do the Babe in the Woods routine.
no,
You know
no.
what's going on.
Well, my son Jack wanted that running back. So
Oh, you did? Okay.
I think he took him in the second round, so he didn't get him or something. He's all bummed out. So I don't know. Apparently he had a good year. So
Uh-huh.
and I think Griffin's
All right.
he's legit.
He is.
That guy. And
So Washington over Eagles on Monday night.
yeah,
More points, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
34-28, something
Okay.
like that.
All right.
So,
Well, once again, we'll see how Coach Mark Schmidt does with his picks. We'll see how he does, more importantly, on Friday night.
there's only
against-
one game I'm worried about.
I know you are. It's
One more
Boise
than
State
they
against
got.
whoever.
Yeah,
So
sure.
I want to thank Coach Mark Schmidt once again for coming on. Thank Aria Health, our sponsor. Week 2 of the Coach Mark Schmidt Show is in the books. Come on out to Harry E. Franks Memorial Stadium this Friday night. Neshaminy takes on Downingtown West for the first time in your career. You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. First time we've crossed paths.
All right. So once again, for Matt Miro from WBCB, for Coach Mark Schmidt from Neshaminy, we'll see you Friday night. Take care, everyone.